everybody to Monster Hunter World. I am Capone and this is xilua. And Monster Hunter World is one of the games I played most in 2018. So I wanted to make a video of my progress, just to show off this beautiful game, show off my character I made, xilua. If you've seen any of my other series, you might recognize her. And I have saved up a special quest for this episode. The last quest in the game. Can we see the exclamation mark from here? Oh, you can see it on the map. There he is. There he is. Can you see him? There he is. He loaded in. So yeah, this game. It's a special game. I'm gonna try to talk about it a little, but I'm still a noob, and so I might get some things wrong, might forget to explain some things. I might not understand them myself fully yet, so bear with me. This game, it's a weird game. It's a very unique game. And it's also a game with a rich history. There's been a lot of prequels, but they've always been on handhelds and other platforms. PlayStation Vita, the Nintendo 3DS. The newest one is on the Wii. What's it called? The Switch. But this one they made for a console, and it's now also available on PC. I'm playing on a PlayStation 4, and I've been playing on the PlayStation 4 pretty much since it launched, I think. I bought it quite quickly. But yeah, oh yeah, so it has a rich history, and so there's a lot of people who are really invested in this game, who know a lot about it. But mostly everybody's really happy that it finally came to the consoles, to the PC, so it looks amazing. It looks really beautiful. It feels really nice. And it also brought a lot of new players to the game, because it's so much more accessible. And although it's a Japanese game, and somehow Japanese games often have some trouble with, I don't know, making their games easy accessible or logical, or I don't know. It takes a bit of time to get used to all the controls and all the how the quests work and that kind, and how multiplayer works. But nonetheless, it's a great game. So I don't know. This is the hub, by the way. You're in a session with some random people. I'll quickly show you. I'm in a session with all these people. And if you're on that ship up there, the broken ship with the sails or flags, then you can actually see the other people in the session. But if you're here, you cannot see them. This is just where you talk to a lot of NPCs. And this is where you start all your quests. And I think I'm just gonna go out and roam around a bit and talk a little bit about the game, maybe. So these are all the different areas in the game. This is where we are now. This is the first area you go to. Then you go to here. Then here, this is another base you can go to. This is another area. This is the third area, I think, and then you go to here, and then this is the last area. So let's just go here and roam around a bit. Here we go. And here we are. The loading times, by the way, are quite long, so I suggest if you want to play this game, buy it on PC, because the loading times are way shorter. Like, it's really worth it to play it on PC just because of how much shorter the loading times are. It seems to be raining in this rainforest, which is kind of upsetting. So this is the one of the first areas you see. Yeah, it's a kind of shame with the rain. Although it also kind of adds to the atmosphere, I guess. So I saw a lot of people stream this game, and I think everybody sang the Jurassic Park theme as soon as they came to this open spot. But yeah, it's a beautiful game, and it has a lot of atmosphere, and the world feels quite alive with all these dinosaur-looking beasts. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the game. What kind of game is this? Well, obviously it's a third-person game, and it's a hack and slash game. You can hack and slash with your weapon, and so yeah, me being into Dark Souls and Bloodborne, that kind of grabbed my attention. And then the monster hunting part. You're basically hunting monsters for the entire game. It's a very grindy game. And yeah, every monster you hunt feels like a boss fight. And especially in the beginning, it may take up to 20 minutes, half an hour per monster, per quest. So it really does feel like a big Dark Souls boss fight. But it's not too much like Dark Souls. I guess that's where the comparison ends, or the similarities end. It's a lot slower and a lot more focused on, especially in the end game, on how you build your character. And speaking of which, it won the Game of the Year award in the category RPG. But it's not an RPG in my book. There's a little bit of story, but it doesn't really matter all that much. It just basically introduces all the new monsters. And yeah, you don't make any choices that matter. You don't even level up your character. So that's one of the things I really like about this game, is your character stays the same. You level up your gear and your weapons. And you do that by defeating monsters, and then you carve the monster, you get bones and their hide, and then you can make new armor out of that, and new weapons out of that, and they're slightly stronger, so you're able to take on the next monster. And then when you kill that monster, you get new stuff, and you can make even better weapons and better armor. And then you can take on an even stronger monster. So that's basically how the whole game goes. Then there's also MMO elements to this game. Like I said, there's up to 16 people in one session. You can do each quest, or almost each quest, with up to 4 people. And there's weekly objectives, there's special events. And yeah, there's a lot of gathering stuff, as you have seen me do. You can gather these herbs. You gather these footprints to track down monsters. There's special submissions, sub-goals. Sub-goals, this is not Twitch. You can do, like, kill 30 small animals, and then when you do that quest, you get something special. Oh, they're coming for me. Oh lord. You get a special reward, so that kind of feels MMO-ish. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So it's has MMO elements, third-person hack and slash elements. RPG elements. All kinds of stuff. So, and yeah, the game just looks really... Oh, we're back to Estera, where we left. So each of the areas has its own loading screen, so I cannot just walk in here, which is kind of a shame, but oh well. Let's go back to the hub, and I'll explain some of the stuff there. And we're back. So there's a lot of NPCs here you can talk to. Where's this guy? So you can do two things with monsters. You can either kill them or capture them. And if you capture one, it'll end up here on this platform. And then there'll be a guy here, and he'll have something to say about the monster. I forgot what this guy does.
Hello.
Or do you... Well, he may have had a quest for me at some point. This Linian researcher, he's a Wyverian, which is a special race in this game. They're like... They start out like elves, like this guy, and then when they get older they turn into these gnomes. I don't know if that's true. Don't quote me on that. But I think that's how it works. But he researches Linians. I have to be careful I don't say anything wrong now. And I think Linians are the cat people. Well, they're not people, they're cats. So there's different kinds of them, and every hunter has its own cat. Mine is called Umbra, because I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy 15 when I made this character. And there's a dog in Final Fantasy 15 called Umbra. And I thought that would be a nice name for my cat. And yeah, here he is. And in the wild, you can also find cats. They might help you, they might bother you. And that guy has some quests regarding them. And this guy, he plays some role in the story. He has a little bit of background story for you. This guy is new in this game, in the franchise, and I'm really happy he's here.
I'll be here.
This guy has a lot of information about all of the monsters. So these are all the monsters in the game. Spoiler alert. And you have to do research about him, you have to beat him a bunch of times. And you will get more information about them, and about how to beat them, and how to beat them quicker, and what you get from them. So let's see. The Great Jagras. You can see his which category he belongs to. So he's a fanged wyvern. Then his name, then his known habitats, where you can find them. How many you've hunted. What the smallest was, how big the smallest was, and how big the largest one was. And then there's some flavor text, some useful information. And then in the different tabs, you can see the elements he's weak to, the ailments he's weak to, what his weak points are, which stuff is breakable, which is useful. And then low rank rewards and high rank rewards. As you can see. So that's really handy. And speaking of low rank and high rank, this game has an interesting difficulty progression. When you're halfway done with the story, something big happens, I won't spoil it. And then the NPCs are like, oh yeah, something happened, and all the monsters are now have twice the health and they do twice the amount of damage. So basically, halfway through the game, you're starting New Game Plus. And that's called high rank. And then there's four difficulty levels. So you start with low rank, then you go to high rank. And then when you finish the story, there's some NPCs. And they say, oh yeah, by the way, there's some even more difficult versions of some enemies. They have, I don't know, twice the amount of health and do twice the amount of damage. I don't think they have more health, actually. I don't know. But anyway, those are called tempered monsters. And then there's another difficulty level, and those are the arch-tempered monsters. I'm pretty sure those are only elder dragons. But they don't do just more damage, they also have usually some new moves. And that's kinda where I ran into a wall. So I was pretty good. I felt pretty good at the game in the beginning, but then the harder the game got, or the harder the game gets, the more you have to pay attention to all the min-maxing, all the micromanagement. And since I didn't have any experience with the game, I kinda ran into a wall and I just couldn't beat him. I don't think I've beaten any arch-tempered monster. Except for Zora, but that's because I got help. But oh well, let's talk to another NPC. This guy is pretty useful. He lets you grow stuff, so you can grow all these ingredients that you use for potions and whatnot. So that's really useful, and then you can fertilize it. And then you can collect what you've grown. And during the game, he gets more options, more fertilizers. This tree grows. And yeah, it's really useful. Let's talk to some more NPCs. There's these three people, and they give you a lot of quests. So this is kind of confusing. They have bounties. So these are the little sub-quests I talked about. And these are the weekly ones. So I have 4 days to get these done. And you get some stuff for it. Then they have investigations. Ooh, this is a nice one. Well, it's kind of hard though. So these are investigations, little quests to hunt specific monsters. And they'll give you extra rewards. So it's really useful if you want to practice on a monster or get some specific ingredients from a monster. And you'll get new investigations by picking up footprints and that kind of stuff. So yeah. And then there's deliveries, which are usually side quests for special stuff. And then they'll give you a reward. So I'll actually show you how the quests work. So if you want to hunt a monster, you usually start a quest. And then there's different categories. Assigned is the story quests. Optional are quests. Oh yeah, I don't know why this got unlocked again. Anyway, these are optional quests that usually unlock gear and stuff. These are the investigations I just talked about, so you can pick your investigation and then hunt that monster. Events are weekly events, so that also is kind of MMO-ish. Every week or 2 weeks these renew, and you they usually also take or give unique rewards, and the special assignments are exactly that. This guy over here, he's the captain. He appears every, I don't know, 6 or 7 quests. He's here for a while. He sells you stuff, then he sails back out, and he oh, who am I talking to? There we go. And then he picks up new stuff and brings it back and sells it again. So I already bought this. But he just sells random stuff every few quests, which is kind of handy. Where? Oh, there she is. Here's an NPC I haven't really done anything with.
Oh, hello there.
And she makes, well, you can buy more important stuff from her. Ooh. And you can melt decorations, which I'll talk about in a little while. And there's this. But I honestly don't know a lot about this, because this is really endgame stuff, and I'm pretty dumb when it comes to endgame. So I'll just leave that be. We'll go there in a minute. So up here is where you spend most of your time. This is the smithy, the forge. Excuse me? There we go. So this is where you can make your armor and your weapons. I haven't really talked about the weapons, but there is 14 different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 different weapons. I usually use the switch axe. I've also tried a bit of the charge blades, the greatsword and the hammer, because xilua, my xilua character, she is really into the big heavy hitting weapons. So that's why I picked her character, because my other characters I usually make. Lizine is a sorcerer, there's no magic in this game. And Mascarpone, the character based on myself, is usually light weapons or archer. And there is dual blades and sword and shield, which are quite, and even insect glaive, which are quite mobile weapons, quick weapons. And there's a bow here, and the bowgun, the heavy and light bowgun. They are ranged weapons, but honestly, I feel like heavy weapons are the most satisfying, to me at least, because they're huge monsters, so you wanna swing a heavy weapon right in their face, right? So let me show you what all, how many weapons there are. It's quite ridiculous. So the ones that have the little orange chest next to them I own. They are in my inventory. So I have this one. I haven't got this one. So the reason I make weapons is just because they look good and because they're the end of the line, so they're the best in their category. And to the right you can see all kinds of information about what the weapons do. And all that is also quite confusing. It takes a while to get used to learn. Yeah, look at this. I haven't made these because they're quite expensive. So let's have a look at all the different armors. As you can see, there's low rank and high rank armors. The high rank ones require you to kill high rank monsters. So you can make this armor. I've started to make all of the armors just to have a goal. And I've gotten quite far. So this is how far I've gotten. And the little orange pin means it's on my wish list. So for this set, for this set I need the legs still. For this set I need the belt still. And then I've made all this. I haven't made this because it's special. This is on my wish list. This is on my wish list. And then farther down is I haven't gotten this far yet. So yeah, but this is the better stuff, the better gear, which gives you certain skills, as you can see on the right. So I really need to be making this. But yeah, it looks very special. Then the endgame stuff is these decorations. So it's not just the armor itself that gives skills. You can also equip these decorations, and then you can equip a different amount of decorations depending on how good your armor is. So the end game is trying to get the best decorations, which you get randomly from quests, and then put them into your armor and make the best builds. And I suck at that. Oh man. I had to look up some guides as to how to make the best stuff, and I still suck at it. Let's go talk to some more NPCs. I hope I kinda explained what the core of this game is. So the core is making the best armor, check the skills, do they apply to your weapon, to your playstyle, and then add decorations so you get even better skills, and so you even get better. So your character becomes stronger. Am I making any sense? I hope so. Let's have a bite. This is the canteen. Also very important before a fight that you eat well. So this is the chef. Let's talk to him. He's the most badass character in this game. Look at this piece of meat up there. Wow, that's amazing. Let's have him cook a meal for us. What do we want? I think I'm gonna go with this one. Isn't that beautiful? So you unlock new ingredients, and by doing little side quests you unlock new recipes, and that gives you better food and gives you better buffs. Here's some people that give you side quests. This person... So every hunter has a group of 3 individuals, which is the hunter, your palico, which is the cat, and your handler. And this is our handler. She's obsessed with food. And during the story she gives you... She joins you on your quests. She makes sure your camp is supplied with goodies. She cooks for you and stuff. So yeah. And she's an interesting character. She can be annoying. There's some very different opinions about her. Some people hate her, think she's annoying, think she's ugly, think she's good for nothing. Other people quite like her. I personally, I don't know. I kind of like that they didn't make her super sexy, super pretty, super unrealistic. But she can be annoying. So I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. So you can also post quests here. Have I talked to all the NPCs? You also have your own room. Right up here. Where does this go? Yeah. Oh, this goes to the gathering hub. It goes to that ship up there. I think it's time we talk to the leader. So this is the commander. He's the leader, and apparently he has a quest for us. Since we reached level 100, the last quest in the game.
Oh good, I was wondering when you'd stop by. Just how long has it been since you and the rest of the 5th came to the new world?
So I think in every game, in every iteration of this franchise, a group gets sent from the old world to the new world, and I think this is the 5th time, the 5th iteration of the game. So we're the 5th generation to land here, so they call us the 5th. So every 20 years or 10 years a new generation gets sent.
In almost no time at all, you've helped solve the mystery of the Elder Crossing and even discovered a new species. You've carved a name for yourself in history as big as the commissions, and possibly bigger. Ha! Which is why I think you're ready for a very special quest.
I don't know if I'm ready, honestly.
This quest will call upon you to transcend nature itself and walk a path none before you have. With only the faintest light to guide you, you will need to see the impossible through. Okay. The quest is called the Sapphire Star's Guidance. Complete it and you will no longer need to look to stars for guidance, because you will be the star.
Oh my god, the pressure.
Now let's see you shine!
Oh lords. The Sapphire Star's Guidance. So, each monster has its own symbol, and if the symbol is lined with a purple line, as it is here, it means it's a tempered monster. So it's more difficult than the regular version. So that's gonna be fun. Also, there's a special category of monsters called Elder Dragons. So, as I said before, you can either kill monsters or capture them. Well, Elder Dragons you cannot capture, you have to kill them, which makes them extra tough. And also most Elder Dragons have their own elements. So we're fighting 3 of them. The first one has a wind element, the second one has a fire element, and the third one is... he's not really an Elder Dragon. He is a slayer of Elder Dragons. So he's even more badass. But anyway, we're gonna do this quest. So the clothes I'm wearing now is the clothes I wore during high rank. And since I'm into Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I tend to play fashion Souls. So I just pick the clothes that look best. Like, this is my low rank outfit, as you can see. Very, very fashionable. This is what I used to rock in the low rank quests. This is my summertime clothes. Very stylish. But in this game, especially if you're nearing end game, fashion hunter won't do. You have to actually make specialized builds for special monsters. So this is my anti-wind build, and I've changed it recently, and yeah, they're definitely not the best builds, but it's something. Fire, yeah, these are not my best builds. This is one I used quite a lot in high rank too. This is the one I've been using lately. It's a favorite of mine. There we go. It's very nice. It has evasion, and it looks good. This is the highest fashion I could reach with still having decent skills and stuff. This one is especially for Kulva Terath. And that's the monster that uses a lot of fire, so it has some fire resist. This is my gear for the end boss. Also fire resist and evasion, that kind of stuff. There was a special collaboration with Final Fantasy XIV, and you could slay a behemoth. And I used this. But we're gonna be using these 3. So the first monster we're gonna fight is Kushala Daora. Look at how fancy I look. And she is I don't know if Kushala is a she or a he. In my mind it's she. It's the most annoying monster in the game, in my opinion. Because yeah, I'll talk more about that later. Then after that we're gonna fight Teostra, which is a fire dragon, fire enemy. And then last but not least we're gonna fight Nergigante. And I'm gonna use my usual loadout for that, slightly adjusted. And yeah, I try to make every build look unique. You don't have to, of course. You can just look up what the best stuff is and use that, but I thought that would be kind of boring. I still want to do some fashion hunting. So yeah. And I used a different weapon for each of, and all of them too. Just because why not? So I'll quickly show all the skills we get. So this is all pretty good skills. I hope. This is for Teostra. I also use it for Lunastra, and she has some annoying wind stuff. That's why that's there. And yeah, all of this. I don't know. I'm not really good at building the best builds. I'm not a min-maxer. I just play a game for the atmosphere and for, I don't know, fighting some big monsters. I don't want to min-max all the skills and stuff. So yeah, we'll see if this is gonna work at all. So this chest is your inventory, and you can manage your items here. This is my low rank items. These are my high rank items. This is for elder dragons, because you can't capture them, so you don't need to bring any. Oh, you don't need. Oh, I can. Yeah. Okay. You don't need to bring any traps. And this is what I'm gonna use now. I'm gonna adjust it slightly though. We're gonna use this one. And this one. There we go. So, these items, for example, the game doesn't really tell you about them, or maybe I just missed it. But they give you extra armor and extra attack. And you have to have them on you. I didn't know. But it really helped me when I found out. So, yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to go. The hardest quest in the game. I don't know if that's true even. The last quest in the game. Is it an assigned quest? No, it's an optional quest. It is an optional quest. I have done this one. I don't know why it's... Maybe it's just uncompleted, so you can do it again. Because this is the special quest. In collaboration with Final Fantasy XIV. Anyway, here we go. The Sapphire Star's Guidance. A tempered Kushala Daora, a tempered Teostra, and a tempered Nergigante. And we're gonna play on my own. I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna use my voucher. Just so I make sure I don't die. And we've already eaten. So we should be good to go. Here we go.